Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about Michael Carter and if he could be RB1 for this New York Jets team. But before we get started today, just wanted to mention you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the Just Jets podcast, and you could also check out the new channel, the Just Jets Clips channel, down in the description below. All right, so Michael Carter, yes, someone the New York Jets grabbed in the fourth round of the NFL draft. They had 2 third-round picks, but they decided to move up in the draft and take Elijah Vera Tucker, a smart move, as they were able to get good value there and then get a prime caliber player early in the fourth round like Michael Carter. Now, can he be running back 1? That's the question that we're trying to answer. So what did he do last year at UNC? Well, he was extremely productive. He had over 1,200 yards, 1,245 to be exact, and 9 rushing touchdowns, which was 8.0 yards per attempt as a senior. He was a really nice running back duo with Williams. The two of them went back and forth and had really good careers at UNC. I was reading up on Carter to make this video and just, in my process after the draft, and my favorite thing that I saw was NFL.com had his NFL player comparison. And who was his player comparison? Bilal Powell. And you guys, if you've been with me for a while, you guys should know how much of a fan I was of Bilal Powell, one of the most underutilized and underappreciated Jets of the last decade. And if the Jets are able to find a running back in the fourth round who would be on the team for a decade, that would be pretty solid. Through multiple regimes, he was like the cockroach in a nuclear attack, Bilal Powell. He survived the Rex era, he survived the Bowles era, and he even made it through a year of the Gase era, which is just downright bizarre, but it happened. So a little bit on Carter as a prospect, and then kind of looking at what the Jets roster looks like and if he could be the guy for the New York Jets in year 1. So he has had no fumbles over the last 2 years, which is something you love to see, because young running backs sometimes get into bad habits of fumbling the football, where this does not seem like it's going to be an issue at the next level. So you take that one variable out. And then you could also put in that he is a perfect scheme fit for this offense. To me, the running backs that made sense were Kenny Gainwell, him, Najee Harris, and Travis Etienne would have been good fits, but they weren't and did not take a running back that early. And I'm completely okay with them going with Carter, because I think he could come in and play from day one, because he has the skill set to. He is probably, looking at this roster, the most overall talented running back on this roster. I mean, just look up and down where you have it. It's him, Ty Johnson, Tevin Coleman, LaMichael Pirine. Those are really, the 4 guys that we just listed off. I like Carter. I think he has a really good chance to be the number 1 running back. Ty Johnson flashed last year. If he can do it again this year, he's also someone who I think would be a scheme fit. Tevin Coleman, we know, is a scheme fit, but he is getting up there in age, and I just don't know how much he has left in the tank after all these injuries. If healthy, he could potentially absolutely be in the mix. LaMichael Pirine's not someone that I'm particularly high on, and I don't think he's that good of a scheme fit, but you look at this running back room, it's crowded, so I don't think there's going to be one definite RB1, someone who's going to rush for, 170, 200 plus times a year, something like that, and have 900 rushing yards. I don't think that's going to be the case, at least not this year. I definitely think it's going to be a running back by committee. And if you just look at what San Francisco's done over the last 3 years, they've had a really good rushing attack, but their leading rusher last year was Jeff Smith with 600 yards. The year before that was Raheem Mostert with 772 rushing yards, and then in 2018 it was Matt Breida with 814. Breida led the way with 814, but what they like to do, like in 2019, they had 3 running backs at 500 plus yards. The San Francisco 49ers did. Would it shock you if Coleman's healthy, if Carter, Johnson, and Coleman were all in that 500 to 700 yard range? Not for me. I really think that's the route that they're going to go, and they're going to spread the ball around a lot. So I don't know if I can necessarily sit here and say he's going to be an RB1. Would it shock me if he led the team in carries? No, but I think it would only be by a smidge anyway. I think you're going to have the 3 guys that I just listed. Coleman if he's healthy, but mostly I'm going to say Carter and Johnson, with getting the reps on this New York Jets offense, because, well, they have depth at the position. I think they're going to use it. I don't think they're going to have a bell cow. They don't have a Derrick Henry on this team. They have a bunch of, speedy guys who can plug in there, and they could average 4.5, 5 yards a carry because of the system that they're going to be playing in. So let me give you some numbers. Let me say, I don't know, let's call it 135 attempts. Put him at about 4.5 yards a carry, which is just a tad over 600 rushing yards on the season. That would be 607.5. So let's round up and call it 608 yards. Maybe somewhere around 4 rushing touchdowns would be nice. Add in about maybe, I don't know, 150, 200 receiving yards on top of that. Again, it's really hard for me to project what I think the running backs are going to do because it could be any one of those three. The one that I know it's not going to be, Michael P. Ryan's not leading the team in rushing. I'm sorry. I know that the P. Ryan hive exists. They've been at me on Twitter for a long time. They love the guy. Feed Michael P. Ryan. I don't know. I didn't see it personally, but looking at this roster, the Jets have some running backs that you could be excited about. Would it stun me if Michael Carter at the end of it all ends up being the leading rusher? No. But in my year one expectations, I don't know, let's call it the 600 or 700 yard range. If he could eventually become a lead back, rush for over, 900, 1,000 yards year after year, phenomenal, great. I just don't think the Jets need that at this moment. I think he's going to be a very vital piece in year one, which is good because the Jets drafted their first 4 picks were on the offensive side of the ball. Zach Wilson's going to play in year one. We know that. Elijah Vera Tucker's going to be a starter in year one. We know that. Elijah Moore is going to play in year one and be a factor. No, he's not going to be a number 1 receiver, but he is going to get significant reps. We know that for a fact. And you would have to assume that Michael Carter is going to get reps. So your first 4 picks having an impact on the offensive side of the ball, that would be good. I would sign up for that. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Can Michael Carter be RB1 on this team? Am I selling him short? Are my expectations too high? What are your expectations for the season on him? I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a good Jet, and I hope he's the next Bilal Powell. Let me know. Subscribe if you're new. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I will talk to you next time.